Hey everyone, I apologize for that. I was on mute already. That's my fault. Welcome back to ESL 001, Expanding Your Vocabulary. This is a review of Unit 2 of Saylor Academy's course. You can go to saylor.org and find ESL 01, catch up with us. We have links to the previous videos we've done in the description below. You can continue the conversation in the chat. Again, I apologize for the technical difficulties, but I will just pass it over to Krista to get us started and just remind everyone to check out our discourse discussion forums if they have any other questions beyond this video about the course.
Thank you, Mike. Welcome, everyone, to this week's session. I'm excited to work with all of you on expanding your vocabulary. So, how can you improve your vocabulary? Often when we're learning a new language, the biggest challenge can be in learning the new words and adding that into, both our reading comprehension levels and also for our, when we're discussing things with each other. So in this week's lesson, we review the strategies to help us learn and remember new words. Sounds easy, but there is a little bit of challenge to it, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. So, of course, the very first thing that you should know is to read more. One of the things that I've had ESL students tell me in the past is even if you're watching a movie and you put on, the words that you can read as you're actually watching the movie, that can help. Also, reading news articles, blogs, or an English version of your favorite book. Sometimes when you're learning a new language, reading constantly really starts to help you piece together the understanding of different new words that you may be encountering. I know that that's something that I found when I was learning a new language. As you read, don't forget to identify any unknown words and use context clues or a dictionary to determine their meaning. So you want to always try to uncover what a word means by, of course, looking at, what we talked about in the past, the phrases around it, and other clues that you can use to get more of an understanding of what the word means. And you also want to always keep a dictionary nearby, because sometimes we'll encounter a word and we may not think it's important, but we find the more that we read that word was important, because nothing makes sense after that. So having a dictionary nearby can help as well. You want to read a variety of different materials. This will help you see language used in different ways. And this little link we have here takes you to a site where you can read some classical books and choose, things that are interesting to you, just to help you get better at the whole process of understanding English and being able to comprehend and build your vocabulary, of course. Using a dictionary or a thesaurus. So remember that a dictionary, of course, is where you can find a word and understand what it means. So it will give you an explanation, and you'll be able to kind of put it in some sort of, clearly understand what it means, basically. Thesaurus is a resource, it looks like a dictionary, but it really gives you words that mean the same and that you can use to better understand what it is that you're reading and actually experiencing. So both of these are really important. I always keep both of them nearby. Now with, of course, the online dictionary and the online thesaurus, we have a lot of different options, but I also like the actual book that I can open up and take a look at. So choose what works best for you. We have some good print dictionaries here, just in case you're like me and would like something nearby. Oxford Advanced Learners Dictionary, the New Oxford American Dictionary, and the Oxford American Writers Thesaurus. So these are great resources to, of course, make sure that you have something nearby when you're working or you're studying, just to help you master an understanding of the material. Good online dictionary. So let's suppose you're really, into your device and you'd rather just have have it there. You can go to One Look. This has a reverse lookup function. Get the word from its definition. It works like a meta dictionary, showing you definitions from other major online dictionaries. The Merriam-Webster's Online Dictionary. It's a well-established and well-regarded name in the realm of dictionaries. You'll see as you go through each one that if you look up the word in each one of these, you'll get a slightly different definition. Okay, and that doesn't mean that they're not the same or that they're contradicting each other. It just means that they're being explained a little bit differently. So know that each one may describe the words just a little bit differently. Then we have something called Ninja Words. Searches the free dictionary, Wiktionary. What makes this site interesting is that you can look up multiple words simultaneously. And you can bookmark the results pages. So if you find something of interest to you, you can make sure that you can get back to it later. And then you have something called Think, Map, Visual Thesaurus. And that's a way to kind of visually see the word and process it. So that can also be a great resource for you if that's some of the things that you like to do with the visual aids. Look at the words in bold below. I'm going to ask you to try to determine what do they mean. Use a dictionary to look up any words that are unfamiliar. So this is just a quick practice to put into, put into practice basically what we're talking about. So just take a look at these words in bold and see if you can determine what they mean. And we'll talk about that in just a few minutes.
All right. Well, hi everybody. Good job. A lot of great responses in the chat here, because a lot of people ideas like the word ability means the talent or capacity to do something. Same thing. Ability means capacity. Uh, we have here apply equals use. It's pretty good. Uh, we have one here, and I guess we can jump into when you do them. But someone here has put argue uh, may mean to say, but I think that it's a little more complicated than that. So I think you can just go through, maybe give some context for people. But good job,
Sure.
everyone in the chat. Good job.
Job. Yes, it sounds like you're all moving in the right direction here. So let's take a look. Ability is a noun, which means capacity to do something. So the answers that we had coming in were right on, right on the correct answer here. Achieve means to carry out successfully. So if you weren't familiar with this, remember that you would look it up in a dictionary. You could try to, go back and look at the context as well. But you also want to just use both of those tools together. So relying on both the dictionary and the context clues will be very helpful to you as you're kind of going through and learning these new words. Advantage, which is a noun, means benefit or gain or profit. Apply, to put to use, and I think that's someone said use, so that's what I'm saying is you're doing a great job in getting the right definition there. Also means to use or employ for a special purpose. And argue, to debate and disagree. So we have that as another word that you can kind of take a look at and see what it means, and also compare it in the different, in a dictionary and the thesaurus as well. Okay. Mike, do we have any additional questions before I move on?
No, we just have just a lot of great answers here in the comments. Everyone seems pretty on board at this point. I'll let you know if anyone has any further questions for us.
Great. So we'll just move on. Practice using your new words. So when you have a new word, using it really helps you apply what you know it means. So that's the first, or one of the first steps that you can do to really help you keep those words within your vocabulary. So you want to write them down. You want to say them aloud. Create sentences with them mentally or in writing. And remember, the dictionary should give you a pronunciation as well. And if you go online, you can actually type in how to pronounce a certain word, and that will come up for you. So you'll be able to hear it as many times as you need to really understand how to pronounce it. And it's probably going to sound strange, and in English, in a lot of cases, the way that the word looks like it should sound isn't always the case. So always practicing can really help you and listen to that pronunciation. Try to use them in a conversation. If anyone who's learned a new language has always had the experience of trying to use a new word in a conversation. And maybe you're correct, and maybe sometimes you're not, but that's a way to learn. I had some funny experiences when I was learning French and trying to use new words in a sentence and completely bumbling it. And my kind friends who were French speaking could help me with that. So know that using a conversation is a fun way to really gain a better understanding of the words and discuss them with friends. So if you ever are confused and unsure, you look up the word in English, you think you have a good working knowledge of it, but it seems like everyone's using it differently than you anticipated, feel free to ask someone and say, hey, why is it that it's being used this way? Because we have a lot of expressions in English where we use words a little bit differently than they may actually be presented in the dictionary. So here's another short practice. Look at the words in bold. What do you think they mean? Look up their meaning and share it in the chat. try to gain an understanding from reading this on what they mean, but then double checking by looking them up. And we'll discuss this in just a few minutes.
All right. Well, good job, everyone. We got here. A lot of people saying focus means, concentrated, um, which, seems pretty good. We have one here. Another folks, focus, put attention on. Assignments means tasks or duties. Struggled means conflicted. Uh, Assignment means given a written task, which I think we had talked while we were gone. I think it's really good that people had the context clues that the assignment in this practice would be a written thing because it's an English class that you're working on. So I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, so that you guys are right on track. Great definitions there. Great way to define it so that it makes sense within, of course, the context of the actual sentences. So let's take a look at ways to define these words. So focused, which is a verb, directed one's attention on something. So what we've had here with you guys actually going into detail, putting attention on something, and the other answers you gave were wonderful. Punctuation, this is a noun that means the marks used to show meaning. So this is what we do in English when we want to end a sentence, when we want to have a pause in a sentence, or when we want to ask a question and make sure that the actual sentence shows that. Struggled is a verb, and that means did an activity with difficulty. And of course, number 4, assignments, means tasks given to students, such as homework or coursework. So those of you who are answering that and had, some great responses there, terrific. So you're definitely on the right path, and I really appreciate you putting that in the chat. What I'd like you to do now is to take it just one step further. You're going to take each of these words and try to put them in a sentence of your own and put that in the chat. And remember a little while ago, I was talking to you about, some of the experiences I had in learning French, where I kind of used a French word and I bumbled it in the sentence, which, made a mistake basically. Try to, in the chat, just share a sentence using these words, and let's talk about, some of the ways that the words can be used effectively in just a few minutes.
All right. Well, everybody, really great job. Chris, a lot of great answers here. Uh, uh, you know, uh, what we got? I'm focused on learning English. Uh, the employee is focused on his work. Um, I'm focused on my Sailor Academy English class. Good job. um,
Good job.
um, uh, yeah, so a lot of great answers here. I think we could potentially have a conversation about the single. I don't even know what the word is. What am I talking about? But like whether things are single or plural, and like the necessity of using these words in the proper context of whether it's assignments or an assignment kind of situation.
Okay, so we'll take a look at some example sentences. I'll try to definitely touch on that. So the first one we have here, she was focused on her homework, which means, of course, she was concentrating, she was applying herself to doing the homework. And in that case, focus in this sentence is in the past tense, right? Um, so we can see that it was something that already happened. In sentence number two, punctuation makes sentences and paragraphs easier to read. So we have punctuation, of course, being the marks in English to, end a sentence, to have a pause, to ask a question, and that works there. I struggled to wake up this morning, so that means a challenge. So that's someone who, of course, is trying to, you know, get up early and get out of bed, being very, very tired still, wanting to just stay there. And then number four, the teacher gave the students assignments to do during vacation. So in this case, as Mike was saying a little bit earlier, assignments means, of course, more than one. Okay, so if we were to make this just one, the teacher gave um, the students an assignment to do during vacation. Okay, and we're also going to get into more detail with subject verb agreement a little bit later, but just kind of showing you the different ways that the words can be used, and maybe that you use them slightly differently. Like maybe you put assignment instead of assignments. They can all, be interchangeable, but just knowing how that they should be defined, and how they can work in a sentence is just a great step. Mike, do we have any questions so far?
We do not have everyone. So everyone seems to be very much on board at this point. So we seem pretty good. I think we can move on. And again, everyone, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat, and we'll get to them if we can.
One of the things I'd like to recommend is learn one new word a day. You see people, or you've heard about people who maybe have a dictionary, and each word they go through and learn a new word a day. But you can also do this online. So they offer something at Merriam-Webster's online word of the day. So this is feature rich. It provides audio explanation, pronunciation, and word history. So you can kind of sign up to get this stuff sent right to your email. I get one every day, and I also get this fun thing that says, can you guess what the word means? And you're given like 5 sentences, and you try to put the word in the sentence. And a lot of the time I recognize the word, but there are days when I'm like, what does that word mean? So know that you can sign up and get this delivered to you, or participate by going to the website. Word Smart Wordcast. So that's something to check out. It offers audio pronunciation for the word, which is very important because, as I said earlier, you'll find that some English words are pronounced differently than what you would expect. So you want to make sure that you are pronouncing them in the way that they need to be. Dictionary Word of the Day, it's another fine service that you can check out, and what that will do is also introduce you to new words that you can use, on a regular basis. And you'd be surprised once you start really actively integrating or using new words in your speaking and writing. It becomes, something that you can also see an improvement in your reading. And then all of a sudden you have a brand new, list of vocabulary words that you're using, and now you've really expanded what you know in English. So just some ways to kind of get you thinking about what you can do that really will take you somewhere where you can learn a lot more than you know now. You can play games. There's games like Scrabble or Word Search that you can play. There's a couple of things here, the websites that you can check out. Merriam-Webster's Word Games and Quizzes, the Daily Crossword, Scrabble or Words with Friends. And what will be neat to see is if you start out and maybe you don't know a lot of words, and then you start to play this, you'll notice in a few months how much better you've become, and how much more interactive you're able to be with these games because you'll know more words. Does anyone have any games that they use to learn English that aren't listed here, we haven't touched on? Give you a minute to put that in there.
Yeah, let us know in the chat if there's any tricks you guys have of the way you've used to learn games.
So as you're kind of doing that, comes yet another short challenge. You want to try to define the words below and then use a synonym or a similar word in a sentence. So basically, you're looking up what the word means, and you're going to use a similar word in a sentence so that you can kind of practice, the initial word, but also, learn an alternative word that you can add to your vocabulary. So hopefully at the end of today's session, you'll have, a little list of words that you can now go out and use. But take a few minutes, try to do this, and we'll discuss it. We'll see what you come up with and go over that.
All right, everyone. Well, there's some great answers coming in. We're going to get to them in a minute. We're going to give you guys a little bit more time if you'd like to give us some more of your answers, the synonyms, or try and use the words in the sentence. But we'll just go back to what we were talking about a second ago. Some people put in games they try and play to help them learn. We got Scrabble, as of course, because you already mentioned. Word search. I remember word search. Word search is a lot of fun. And
Yeah.
and Wordscapes, which I don't know what that is, but um, I'll check it out. I assume it's on the App Store. You can let me know. Let me know in the chat if it's on the App Store, and if it's free, I'll check it out. But yeah, back to our practice. A lot of great answers. We have right here. Ahmad says exhausted means spent, which is actually that's pretty advanced. Exhausted, tired, a lot of tired. That's very good. We have some answers for ugly that are not beautiful, displeasing for ugly. Uh, Exhausted, fatigue. That's pretty good. I don't know if the tense works, but fatigue is very good. Uh, Man, so many answers. I'm scrolling through so much of this. Uh, Ecstatic means great. Uh, uh, Grateful, thankful. Ugly means unpleasant. Ugly, not attractive. Grateful means thankful. Like too many great answers to read out for you, Chris.
That's great. Thank you, Mike, for reading some. You guys are doing a wonderful job putting them in the chat because you're right on with the word meaning and the way that it can be interpreted. So we know in a lot of cases, of course, we can have different synonyms and different meanings, based upon where we look for the information. But let's take a look at some of the most common ways. So we have exhausted means very tired. So anyone who is putting that in there, good job. After a busy week at work, I am very tired. So you could also, by a synonym, you can also input, after a busy week at work, I am exhausted. So you can kind of see how they're interchangeable. You can use one or the other in the sentence, and it completely makes sense because they're similar in meaning. Ugly, unattractive. The rusty car in the backyard was unattractive, or the rusty car in the backyard was ugly. Grateful, which is thankful. When grandmother came to visit, I was thankful she made it to my house in the blizzard. You could also put grateful. I was grateful she made it to my house in the blizzard. Whoops, I'm sorry. Let's go back here. Oops. Sorry, guys.
That's all right. As long as you don't mess up my YouTube overlays,
Oh.
I'm gonna apologize for you for everyone.
Oh, Lord. All right. There we go. Sorry. Now we're back.
There we go.
Kind of got on a roll and got kind of lost there, guys. But thanks. An ecstatic, happy. I won the lottery and was happy because I would never need to work again. I won the lottery and was ecstatic because I would never need to work again. So you have either one of those that will fit in there, and that's what we were talking about earlier, where you can look up the synonyms and use words that mean the same thing in different ways. You'll notice too that it's entirely up to you and to how you want to use the words, and you also learn more as you become more fluent in English. You know how each one of these words can give a different impression. So ecstatic is almost like a higher level of happy. It's like that more super happy experience. So you'll be able to differentiate. But for this exercise, any of those words certainly work. Do we have anything else, Mike, that kind of stood out?
We have a question here about what an extreme adjective is, which I think is just from what I heard, it's just like saying like when you say something's very, that means you're more than normal, I think. But
yeah, like so it's saying it's not just someone is just feeling the normal thing. It's putting it to another level. So it's more emphasis. It's more powerful statement, basically. It really kind of highlights it and makes it seem, much more important, if you will. So that's basically just a very short explanation, of course, of how that can be used and what the purpose is. And we do that a lot in English, especially if you read the news, you're going to see a lot of that. So great question. And so what I want to kind of tell all of you to do is to go out and practice what we were talking about here today. Practice using your words, practice, um, you know, looking up the different synonyms, looking up different definitions, and getting into that habit, because that's going to really be one of the things that's going to propel you forward and help you be able to really learn English, um, quickly and also more effectively.
Well, awesome. Let's give everyone just a little bit of time. If anyone has any questions about the things that we've talked about today, please feel free to put them in the chat now. And thank everyone for joining us. But we're just gonna hang out for a minute here, and just if anyone has any questions, let us know. We'd be happy to answer them. Obviously, we'll be back next week for. I guess I should have checked, but I assume another review from Unit 3. Is that what we're doing next week, Krista?
Yes.
Yes. So we'll do another review of what's going on in Unit 3. Of course, definitely go to Saylor.org. You can find it ESL 001. You can catch up with us. We'll have links in the description, links in the chat to the discussion forums, to the course, to the other videos we've done. But I want to thank everyone for hanging out with us. Again, we'll be here the same time next week. And if no one has any questions, we'll probably log off in here in a second. But I think we got about a 5-second delay or so, so we'll give someone a chance if they want to type a question out. We'll just hang out here for a minute. But a lot of great responses from everyone in the chat. This was a really good day. Well, to answer one question, which I don't think is for you, Chris, but yes, you can watch the video from the beginning. Once it's over, it'll be archived on YouTube, and you can watch it there. But thank you everyone for joining us again. Chris, thank you very much. Thank you everyone on the back end for helping out, and we will see everyone next week. Thank you very much, guys. Remember, check out the discussion
Thank you.
forums if you have any other questions. Thanks, guys.